ठीक है. So couple of you are asking me to explain this last question from calorimetry. एक बार जल्दी से देख लेते हैं. Question है कि the question was कि we had steam of mass 1 kg. My health is a lot better. Thank you for asking. Yes, it's better now. We had steam of mass 1 kg at 110. We have ice of mass 10 kg. 10. ठीक है, ice of mass 10 kg at -10, and हमें जानना था कि what will be the final composition of the mixture and the final temperature of the mixture. So always try to find the final meeting point first. ठीक है, in such questions. So how do we figure out the final meeting point? It's simple. देखो पहले ice को -10 से 0 तक जाने के लिए कितना चाहिए. तो for a 10 degree rise in temperature, ice would need ms delta t amount of heat. Mass is 10, s is 0.5, delta t is 10. So 10 into 0.5 into 10 becomes 50. So ice needs 50 to reach till 0. How much does steam need to reach till this interface? Steam was at 110. How much does it need to reach till 100? तो वो निकाल दो. Again, ms delta t. Steam का mass m, s हमने बोल दिया approximately 0.5 ले लो, and delta t 10. So steam needed 5. So this is like a race. So ice needs 50 to move towards this line. Steam only needs 5. So steam पहले यहाँ पहुँचेगा. Now you see कि how much does steam need to completely turn into water? So उसके लिए we have our latent heat वाला equation कि heat exchange during a phase change is mass times latent heat. अब latent heat कितना बोल दिया? 540 kilocalories per kg. So this will become 540 kilocalories. So now we can see कि steam को कुल मिलके यहाँ तक पहुंचने के लिए 545 चाहिए. Ice को सिर्फ 50 चाहिए था यहाँ तक. तो let's see if ice reaches this line. ठीक है, तो ice को वो line तक पहुंचने के लिए कितना चाहिए. तो फिर phase change के लिए ice will need how much? M into L. है ना. So L for ice, I mean for melting, we know is 80 kilocalories per kg, and because you have 10 kgs of ice, so heat required will be ml 10 into 80, 800. So now this is the scene. Okay, as you start labeling this, by the way, this labeling will come in handy later also when we write the equation. So as we start labeling, we know ice requires 850 to reach there. Steam requires only 545 to completely turn into water. So now we must wonder whether steam, which has now become water, is going to reach this boundary before ice reaches this boundary. है ना. तो let's see that. तो steam को पानी बनने के लिए steam को 100 से 0 तक जाने के लिए कितना heat चाहिए. So steam which is now condensed into water, उसको 0 तक जाने के लिए you need m, that's 1 kg, s, पानी का s is 1 kilocalorie per kg Kelvin, delta t is 100. So it needs 100 kilocalories, or it releases 100 kilocalories when it goes from 100 to 0. So now we understand कि steam का, now join all of this. For steam to reach 0, it will release 645 kilocalories. For ice to reach 0 degree wala water, it needs 850 kilocalories. Means who is going to reach 0 degree water first? Steam is going to reach 0 degree water first. So if steam reaches 0 degree water first, then what is going to happen? In the process, some ice is converted to water, and the minute steam reaches 0 degrees, the entire process is going to stop. तो ice पूरा melt हो नहीं पाएगा. जैसे ही steam 0 तक पहुंच गया, the entire process stops because everyone is at the same temperature. Therefore, our final temperature is also 0 degrees Celsius. Okay? So by writing all these terms, we come to know where the meeting point is. Steam 0 पहुंच रहा है before ice can even melt completely. So therefore, final temperature will be 0 degrees Celsius. अब ice कितना melt हुआ? मान लो m kgs of ice has melted. ठीक है? Then heat lost by steam is heat gained by ice. अब heat lost by steam में वापस दोबारा सोचना नहीं पड़ेगा because you already know कि heat is losing 5 plus 540 plus 100. You know कि it is losing 645. So whatever you write over here is going to be useful later on as well. ये तो steam has lost 645, ice has gained 50 for sure, ठीक है, but अब पूरा 800 गेन नहीं करेगा बिकॉज पूरा आइस मेल्ट नहीं हो रहा है, सिर्फ m kgs मेल्ट हो रहा है. तो m kgs मेल्ट होके कितना हीट लेगा, m इंटू लेटेंट हीट, m इंटू 80 लेगा, m इंटू 80 लेगा. यहां से हमें पता चल गया कि अच्छा यू सॉल्व दिस इक्वेशन, फ्रॉम दिस वी गेट कि m इज some value 59.5 by 8, which is very close to 7.5. Therefore, our final composition comprises of, पहले कितना आइस था 10 kg, 10 kg माइनस जितना मेल्ट हुआ उतना आइस रह जाएगा, एंड पानी पूरा का पूरा स्टीम तो पानी बन गया, प्लस जितना आइस मेल्ट होके पानी बन गया तो उतना पानी रहेगा. ठीक है, तो रफली 10 minus 7.5 kg of ice and 1 plus 7.5 kg of water. Got it? Okay. Yes, so this chapter is actually based more on problem solving. So we need to solve problems. So I would have ideally preferred to discuss the HCV today, but if you want to discuss it tomorrow, I'm fine with that. But tomorrow when you come to, make sure you come for the doubt session then. Let tomorrow's doubt session be like a important class for you guys. Okay? वो HCV का डिस्कशन के बाद ही we can say in a sense कि calorimetry complete है. यहाँ पे तो पूरा theory हो गया. We have seen different question types. Now the other question types that you need to see, a good collection of that is in the HCV. You try it once on your own, and we need to discuss. ठीक है? Anything that you find problematic over there, we need to discuss in the next class. तो that said, तुम कर लो HCV, कल फिर डिस्कस करेंगे, ठीक है? और ठीक है, you do that, we'll discuss more, ठीक है? Once you attempt the HCV and come, उसमें और exposure मिलेगा. All right, so then after this, the next section that we are going to look at is thermal expansion. Okay, so one of you was saying कि you have missed the last two lectures, probably you missed calorimetry. Please try to cover up. Either way, this is going to be independent of that. This is a new section that we're going to have a look at. Okay, this is thermal expansion. हाँ, HCV calorimetry पूरा attempt कर लो. एक ही पेज है, इतना ही साइज है उसका. It's just 18 questions. तो पूरा attempt कर लो. थोड़ा interesting word based questions दिया है. Let's see if you can understand that. And if you can't, of course, we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay. Thermal expansion is, it's not a big chapter actually. Thermal expansion भी बड़ा नहीं है, थोड़ा सा बड़ा होगा calorimetry से. थोड़ा सा बड़ा होगा calorimetry से. Somebody is asking me, I have already sent that page. तुम्हें जब होमवर्क मिला वो HCV का पेज मैंने भेजा है, वो HCV का ही पेज था. I guess you guys have already received that, है ना? I've already shared that page, and then I think we shared the HCV itself. So nothing special, nothing extra in this page that I have. Okay. So this chapter, thermal expansion, is maybe slightly bigger than calorimetry, still not very big. The unfortunate thing though is this chapter involves concepts which are yet to be covered in mechanics. So some of the formulas in this chapter, they are going to involve concepts which are yet to be covered in mechanics. So वहाँ पे थोड़ा हमें adjust करना पड़ेगा. Maybe some parts we may even have to leave because you have not yet been exposed to it in mechanics. The most ideal place where when we should have done heat and thermodynamics, the ideal way we should have done it was we should have done it after mechanics. Now, unfortunately, I'm not the one who decides the flow of chapters. So, I mean, these guys have decided कि अब heat and thermodynamics अब करना है. HCV has smartly placed it in book 2, that's after mechanics, but unfortunately अब कर रहे हैं heat and thermodynamics. तो जितना जितना सीख सकते हैं from this chapter which does not involve concepts from mechanics, utna seekenge. And then there are maybe a couple of things which we'll have to leave for later. Units and dimensions wala chapter will be done later, don't worry about that. Absolutely don't worry about that. Okay, anyways wo hai hi nahi tumhare MT mein, so don't worry about that. वो हो जाएगा, that's an independent thing, वो किया जाएगा. ठीक है, okay. So now for understanding thermal expansion, I need you to understand this graph. You may have seen this graph in a couple of places, maybe in chemistry, maybe in work power energy. See? So this is the graph between potential energy and R, where R represents, the U of course represents potential energy. This will be potential energy of maybe a material or maybe a pair of atoms, and R would represent intermolecular distance. Intermolecular distance. So R represents distance between the atoms. See? Okay. Now, this graph ka shape looks like this. Yes, you have apparently studied it in chemical bonding. Very nice. So this graph ka shape looks like this. Okay. Let's call this point. This is which chapter? This is thermal expansion. Either upar top, ekdam upar jo dikh raha hai na, thermal expansion. That's the name of the chapter. See? इसको थोड़ा सा और adjust कर लेता हूँ. I think that looks better. Okay. So this is how your graph looks like. Okay. Now let's label this point A. Okay. So A is actually in this graph. This is your point of stable equilibrium. A is your point of stable equilibrium. Stable equilibrium सीखा है तुमने work per energy में. I hope you know कि stable equilibrium means a point where force is zero. So if force is going to be zero, then your potential energy graph ka derivative should be zero. याद है? Force is negative of the derivative of potential energy with respect to distance. तो potential energy graph का derivative जहाँ पे zero होगा वहाँ पे equilibrium होगा. Derivative zero कहाँ पे होगा? या तो एक minima पे या maxima पे. So minimas and maximas are actually points of equilibrium. अब उसमें stable equilibrium कौन सा होगा? Minima. Because the objective of a system is to reduce its potential energy. The system always tries to reduce its potential energy. So the point where potential energy is minimum, that is going to be the configuration this system prefers the most. So this is the point of minimum potential energy. Okay. Therefore the system, okay. Now kya hai? This is the point of stable equilibrium. I also want you to understand कि at 0 Kelvin, I'm not writing okay over here, at 0 Kelvin, at 0 Kelvin, there is no vibrational energy. Okay? At 0 Kelvin, there is no vibrational energy. Remember, we have talked about this. Molecules have no kinetic energy whatsoever. So because they have no kinetic energy, they're not vibrating about their mean positions, and therefore you can also say कि उनके बीच में जो भी intermolecular distance है, that intermolecular distance will not keep changing. Okay, so at 0 Kelvin there is no vibrational energy, therefore okay, therefore your system stays at A. Therefore your system stays at A. Okay, therefore your system stays at A. Okay, so what am I saying over here? I want you to imagine this this potential energy graph as a roller coaster track or a Hot Wheels track. Okay, imagine this graph like a roller coaster track. Okay, so you know कि if you release a car from here, what is the motion of the car going to be? Sorry, if you release the car from here, कैसा motion होगा उसका? You expect it to oscillate like this, है ना? आगे पीछे oscillate करेगा. It'll go to the same height on either side. Agreed? है ना? मतलब अगर A पे कार को थोड़ा सा काइनेटिक एनर्जी दिया तो काइनेटिक एनर्जी के कारण वो क्या करेगा, ये एक्सट्रीम एक एक्सट्रीम तक जाएगा और यहाँ पे भी सेम हाइट तक ऊपर जाएगा, ऐसा ऑसिलेट करेगा. दैट्स व्हाट यू एक्सपेक्ट टू सी, है ना? इफ यू गिव द कार काइनेटिक एनर्जी, इफ यू गिव इट अ लॉट ऑफ काइनेटिक एनर्जी, यहाँ पे मान लो इतना ऊपर गया, फिर वापस लौटते वक्त यहाँ पे तो अब उतना ऊपर जा नहीं सकता है, तो इट्स गोना लीव द रैंप, इट विल लीव द रैंप विद सम काइनेटिक एनर्जी. बट यू कैन इमेजिन दिस हैपन कि पॉइंट ए पे अगर गाड़ी को काइनेटिक एनर्जी दिया तो गाड़ी ऐसा आगे पीछे ऑसिलेट कर सकता है ना, प्रोवाइडेड इट डज नॉट ओवरशूट दैट रैंप, इट कैन ऑसिलेट आगे पीछे. कैन यू इमेजिन दैट हैपनिंग? What do you imagine will happen if the vehicle has no kinetic energy at all? अब जीरो एनर्जी है तो कहाँ पे सेटल होगा? जीरो एनर्जी है तो ए पे सेटल होगा. जीरो से ज्यादा एनर्जी है तो आगे पीछे ऑसिलेट करेगा, बट जीरो एनर्जी है तो ए पे सेटल होगा. ठीक है, अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाई थर्मल एक्सपेंशन टेक्स प्लेस. ठीक है, सो zero energy at 0 Kelvin, there is zero energy, therefore the system stays at A, and therefore intermolecular, yes Aman, yes, and therefore intermolecular distance, therefore intermolecular distance at 0 Kelvin, intermolecular distance at 0 Kelvin is, let's label this point on the graph R naught. Probably this is what you have also heard, कि R naught is like your, you can call it bond length or you can call it intermolecular distance, है ना? Maybe that's what you've heard in chemistry. All right, so this is the intermolecular distance, to be very precise, at 0 Kelvin. This is the intermolecular distance, to be very precise, at 0 Kelvin. What happens beyond 0 Kelvin? Okay, so what happens beyond 0 Kelvin? I'm going to copy this graph. In the meanwhile, anyone who was writing, please, you can finish writing. If somebody wants me to still wait before I go to the next page, please say wait. Okay, I'll wait. Which chapter in the HCV? This is actually the same chapter as heat and temperature. तो HCV में थियरी वाइज ज्यादा दिया नहीं है, बट क्वेश्चंस अच्छे हैं HCV के. Aman, not really. I'll talk about that. Just let me know, guys. Can I go to the next page? The one who had said wait. If you still want me to wait, then let me know. Okay, I'll wait. कर लो कॉपी जो करना है. See, let's just wait for half a minute or so. See, I just want you to remember कि at 0 Kelvin, ये 0 Kelvin पे A पे ही रहेगा. 0 Kelvin पे it's going to stay at A, and therefore the intermolecular distance is going to be A. Okay? It's going to, yes, Vaishnav, yes. Yeah. Yash shall answer that as well. थोड़ा एक बार ये पूरा कहानी सुन लो, ठीक है, फिर तुम्हें दिख जाएगा क्या हो रहा है. Okay, so guys, HCV में this comes under chapter heat and temperature, ठीक है, and in heat and temperature very little is given, ठीक है, and if you are only supposed to read from the HCV, we would not have been teaching anything over here. Your notes are going to be more than enough, so whatever you need to read will be there in the notes, ठीक है. So you don't need to worry कि HCV में ज़्यादा दिया नहीं है, जो भी तुम्हें theory wise चाहिए सब notes में होगा. In fact, कोई भी एक book में सब कुछ नहीं होगा, but more or less you'll have whatever you need in the notes. HCV has good questions, so we will solve from the HCV, ठीक है. Now, let me paste the diagram again. Okay. अब देखो क्या होगा, what is going to happen if we increase the temperature, ठीक है. तो at 0 Kelvin तो गाड़ी यहाँ पे ही रहेगा. But imagine you give this car an impulse, you give it some velocity. What do you expect will happen? What do you expect will happen if you give it some velocity? It will start moving, है ना? It will start oscillating, ठीक है. Now, one of you is saying intermolecular distance increases. Why does it increase? Doesn't it oscillate? ये आगे पीछे तो आगे जाएगा तो पीछे भी आएगा ना. हाँ, one of you is saying it can go off the ramp, but don't worry, कभी भी उतना मतलब practical terms में टेम्परेचर बढ़ा के उसको उतना काइनेटिक एनर्जी नहीं मिलेगा कि दे विल सेपरेट, है ना. कभी ऐसा नहीं होता ना कि टेम्परेचर बढ़ा के वो मटेरियली एक्सप्लोड होता है, इतना कभी उतना काइनेटिक एनर्जी नहीं मिलता. तो यस, इट कुड थियोरेटिकली गिव इट टू मच एनर्जी, इट कैन ओवरशूट द रैम्प, ठीक है. बट आइदर वे कभी भी टेम्परेचर बढ़ा के उतना भी काइनेटिक एनर्जी नहीं मिलेगा वाइब्रेशन का कि दिस विल ओवरशूट द रैम्प. So what are you going to expect will happen as temperature increases? You expect vibration energy to increase, okay? And as vibrational energy increases, you're going to see this oscillate, okay? But now, let's say the particle oscillates between points B and C, okay? Okay. So as temperature increases, vibrational energy increases. You'll see the particle oscillates between B and C. T stands for temperature. This weird symbol stands for increases. As temperature increases, vibrational energy increases. Let's say particle oscillates between B and C. Okay. And then let's say oscillates between B and C, and sorry. Oscillates between B and C, and let's say this is at a lower temperature. As the temperature further increases, let's say it oscillates between D and D. By the way, those who want to write can write alongside, you know. So then oscillates between D and D. So let's say D and D क्या होगा, higher temperature पे higher extremes तक जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे D और यहाँ पे E. Okay. Now, what is happening in this is, if you look carefully, it's of course oscillating to the same height on both sides. Everyone's convinced कि दोनों तरफ same height तक rise होना चाहिए. Max जो height तक जाके रुकेगा, मतलब जब kinetic energy 0 होगा, potential energy दोनों side same होना चाहिए. It should rise to the same height on either side. Okay. Now, because of the shape of this graph, energy loss कभी नहीं होगा. हाँ, तो एनर्जी लॉस कभी नहीं होगा. देयर इज ओनली एनर्जी कन्वर्जन. इसका वाइब्रेशनल एनर्जी, काइनेटिक एनर्जी कम होके पोटेंशियल एनर्जी बढ़ेगा, फिर पोटेंशियल कम होके काइनेटिक बढ़ेगा, फिर काइनेटिक वापस कम होके पोटेंशियल बढ़ेगा. सो देयर इज नो लॉस इन एनर्जी. ठीक है, नो लॉस इन एनर्जी. नाउ नो इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. ठीक है, नाउ अब सुनो. नाउ if you can see the shape of this graph, based on this graph you can see that ये जितना आगे जाता है, can you see that that's more than ये जितना पीछे आता है? And that's purely because of the shape of the graph, कि आगे वाले पोर्शन का स्लोप कम है, पीछे वाले पोर्शन का स्लोप ज्यादा है. So it rises to the same height, but it goes further ahead, and you know, it doesn't go behind that much. So as a result of this, when we say ki the particle is oscillating between B and C, what is happening to the average intermolecular distance? The average intermolecular distance has now increased beyond A. So on an average, when you take the average for all the molecules in the body over a long period of time, what are you going to see on an average? What distance are you going to see on an average? You're going to see approximately this distance. Yeah, it seems like it's oscillating about this point. So therefore, your average intermolecular distance on increasing the temperature has increased. What is going to happen further? Or temperature badao, again it's going to further oscillate between D and D. Same story repeats. ठीक है, CE is more further out than BD is in. So what's going to happen? Again ये ज्यादा आगे जा रहा है, कम पीछे आ रहा है. इसका जब तुम एवरेज लोगे, DE का मिड पॉइंट लोगे, तो you can find कि that midpoint keeps extending outwards. So as you increase the temperature, your midpoint keeps increasing. And because your midpoint keeps increasing, as your midpoint keeps shifting towards the right, what is going to happen? That average intermolecular distance is going to increase, and therefore the size of the object is going to increase. It's not going to happen by a large amount. ऐसा नहीं कि size double होगा. It'll still be by small amounts, but होगा. See? So as temperature increases, vibrational energy increases, particle oscillates between B and C at a lower temperature, and then between D and E, which will be at a higher temperature. And what you can see is because of the shape of the graph, the average intermolecular distance, the average intermolecular distance which is represented by the yellow dot, increases and therefore size increases. This is the mechanism which tells you why an object ka size, typically on an average, normally, why an object ka size increases on increasing its temperature. See? So B, C, D, these are not any specific temperatures. One of you is asking me, kya temperature hai BC ke liye? Nothing specific. At A, you have 0 Kelvin. Okay, the particle when it's at A, that will be when it's at 0 Kelvin. B and C will be when it's at, let's say, temperature T1. D and E will be at some other random temperature T2, such that T1 is less than T2. Okay? Okay, I'll explain the statement again. Okay, ये idea समझो. Okay, so what is going to happen? Of course, the shape is going to look different for the shape. Overall shape will be similar for different molecules, but exact slope कितना है, A कितना नीचे है, कितना ऊपर है, that exact shape will differ for different molecules. Therefore, different molecules expand at different rates. ठीक है? But let me now just repeat this again. ये मेन कोर आइडिया समझना जरूरी है. ठीक है? थियोरेटिकल क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. क्या आइडिया क्या है? As temperature increases, yes, Sairam, yes. As temperature increases, vibrational energy increases. So the particle starts oscillating about A. Okay? And now, what is going to happen is, at a lower temperature, let's say it oscillates only about B and C. At a higher temperature, let's say now starts oscillating about D and D. As you observe closely, C, E, these are further and further towards the right of A. And B and D are not that much towards the left of A. They're still pretty close to A, because ये वाला slope काफी sharp है और ये वाला slope काफी gradual है in reality. ठीक है? Even more gradual than how I've drawn. So because of the shape of this graph, you can see कि B and C का जो average, अब B and C के बीच में oscillate कर रहा है, तो average distance क्या होगा when you take an average across all molecules? The average distance is going to be at the midpoint of BC, and you can clearly see, because of the shape of the graph, this midpoint has moved towards the right. So that average intermolecular distance at temperature T1 is greater than R0. It has increased. इसको और बढ़ाओ. Yes, Ayush. इसको अब टेम्परेचर को और बढ़ाओगे तो अब D और E के बीच में ऑसिलेट करना स्टार्ट करेगा. Again, you can say, because of the shape of the graph, midpoint अब और shift हुआ है right की तरफ. Midpoint shift हुआ है right की तरफ, मतलब intermolecular distance और बढ़ गया है. Average intermolecular distance और बढ़ गया है. This is why on increasing temperature, your average intermolecular distance increases, and therefore the size increases. Okay? Therefore the size increases. So thermal expansion, this is the conclusion, thermal expansion is due to the asymmetric nature. See, this is an important statement. Thermal expansion is due to the asymmetric. What does that word mean? Asymmetric का मतलब क्या? Lack of symmetry, है ना? So this graph is not a symmetric graph, है ना? Its slope is very steep to the left of A. Its slope is very gradual to the right of A, and is that difference in slope जिसके कारण expansion हो रहा है ना? So thermal expansion is due to the asymmetric nature of the potential energy curve. Is due to the asymmetric nature of the potential energy curve. Cool. Got the idea? Understood that statement? है ना? You obviously, the thermal expansion would not have been observed अगर ग्राफ का शेप परफेक्टली सिमेट्रिकल होता. सही है ये बोलना? बिकॉज अगर ग्राफ का शेप परफेक्टली सिमेट्रिकल होता, एज वी स्टार्ट इंक्रीजिंग टेम्परेचर, क्या होगा? काइनेटिक एनर्जी बढ़ेगा और पार्टिकल और वेलोसिटी के साथ और एनर्जी के साथ ऑसिलेट करते जाएगा. बट इफ द ग्राफ वाज सिमेट्रिकल, then the mean position would always be the same. No matter till which height it rises, mean position, midpoint would always be the same. So thermal expansion is actually taking place because our potential energy graph is not symmetrical like this. It's asymmetrical. And that's why you observe objects in general to expand on heating. Okay, the theory behind, I mean, the reasoning behind why this graph, the reason behind why thermal expansion takes place is important. Okay. So one of you is saying, why is the shape of the graph like this? The shape of the graph depends on the forces between these molecules. You typically have forces which, अच्छा ये सब, do you guys know this कि, do you know कि what do you say, ये section of the graph has attractive forces. ये section of the graph has attractive forces. पता है क्या? ये भाई पता है ना वो सब. तो हाँ, so basically this section of the graph has attractive forces. Why? Because the chemistry teachers taught all of this. So this section, your system always tries to return to the lowest potential energy position. So this section has attractive forces. So the nature of the forces between the molecules are such that they decay with distance, and therefore you see ki that force, yani ki that slope tends to zero as you go far away. Then this section of the graph has repulsive forces, you know. So as you start bringing molecules close, uncomfortably close, their electron clouds are going to start repelling each other. So therefore it's impossible to make molecules overlap. So therefore you have this different, therefore you have this asymmetrical nature to the graph. The type of force involved over here, one decaying with distance, is quite different from this kind of repulsive force where the molecules just don't want to be overlapped over each other. That repulsive electrostatic cloud, because of that, यहाँ पे forces are going to be stronger because molecules are close. So you're going to have steeper slopes. यहाँ पे forces are going to be weaker because molecules are far away. and the force weakens with distance. तो asymmetric nature तो होना ही था, ठीक है. That was just to answer why the shape is asymmetric. Okay, so that's यहाँ पे the molecules are closer, so when they are closer the force is greater. यहाँ पे molecules are further, when you're further the forces are in general weaker and they weaken with distance. Okay, and one more question that came up was by the nature graph we can see repulsive forces. Yes, absolutely, these repulsive forces are obviously stronger than the attractive forces, but it of course depends on where you are. Like if you're over here, your attractive forces dominate. If you're over here, your repulsive forces dominate. If you're exactly at A, both forces are in general balancing out and there is equilibrium. But in comparison to how strong can your repulsive forces get, they can get a lot stronger than your attractive forces. If you try exactly overlapping two atoms, your repulsive forces can be infinitely large. See? Repulsive forces have, they have negative slope. नेगेटिव स्लोप, तो इसको जब, जैसे अगर स्लोप नेगेटिव है, f इज नेगेटिव ऑफ द स्लोप, तो स्लोप नेगेटिव है तो f पॉजिटिव आएगा, एंड f पॉजिटिव मतलब बार की तरफ, है ना. और यहाँ पे स्लोप पॉजिटिव है मतलब f नेगेटिव आएगा, और f नेगेटिव मतलब अंदर की तरफ, अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स. ठीक, over here slope tends to infinity because the repulsive forces tend to infinity. ठीक है. Any other doubt? एक और एक कुछ तो ग्राफ था. This graph is, one of you saying कि potential ये हमेशा negative होगा क्या? Yes, because it will be negative in comparison to this. हम लोग अब negative का exact value ज़्यादा important नहीं है. That value just comes from the convention कि हम infinite separation पे जो potential energy होता है उसको zero लेते हैं. Infinite separation पे जो potential energy होता है उसको zero लेते हैं. तो इनफाइनाइट सेपरेशन पे जो है उसको जीरो लिया है, तो यहाँ पे पोटेंशियल उसके कंपैरिजन में कम है. ठीक, पॉजिटिव फोर्स मींस बाहर की तरफ, नेगेटिव फोर्स मींस अंदर की तरफ. एंड आई थिंक दैट आंसर्स योर डाउट्स. और एक क्या डाउट था? इज दिस ग्राफ yeah, so you would expect this graph to either be experimentally derived or maybe statistically this would be predicted based on the nature of forces that are involved. Okay. Of course they didn't exactly do an experiment on two molecules, but this is it's a statistical projection based on the forces that we know. Again, there's no equation that you need to know about this as such. Equation जाने का जरूरी नहीं. यहाँ पे फिलहाल we have extended our purpose. The whole purpose was just to observe कि on heating this, in general the midpoint increases. That's the reason why thermal expansion takes place. Okay. Now, nonetheless, I think it makes sense to have a look at this because this is going to be useful in our next point. In our next point, we are going to talk about which expands faster. Do solids expand faster? Do liquids expand faster? Or do gases expand faster? Can I go to page? Dekh lo page 2 jaldi. In the meanwhile, you can throw in your guesses. Do solids expand faster? Liquids expand faster? Or gases expand faster? Yes, so the answer is actually gases. The answer is gases. Now, why is the answer gases? So this is the reason. Greater the intermolecular forces, एक बार ये सुन लो, greater the intermolecular forces of attraction, the steeper will be the slope, the steeper the slope after the minima. ठीक, तो किसमें forces of attraction are greater? Solids, है ना? Solids में forces of attraction are greater, so therefore you'll find कि in the case of solids, after the minima the slope is steep. Yeah. Whereas in liquids you'll find कि because forces of attraction, अच्छा forces of attraction कैसे बोल रहे हैं? अभी अभी बोला ना, this is the section where you have attractive forces. जितना ज्यादा स्लोप, जितना ज्यादा डेरिवेटिव, उतना ज्यादा फोर्स का मैग्नीट्यूड. तो सॉलिड्स में ये ग्राफ स्टीप होगा, ठीक है? मे बी आई नीड टू रीड्रॉ देम, मेक श्योर इट्स विजिबली स्टीपर देन द अदर्स. तो सॉलिड्स में ये सेकंड पोर्शन ऑफ द ग्राफ ज्यादा स्टीप दिखेगा, लिक्विड में कम स्टीप दिखेगा. आई होप दैट्स विजिबल कि लिक्विड में कम स्टीप है, थोड़ा और एग्जैजरेट करते हैं, ठीक है? एंड गैसेस को एकदम एग्जैजरेट करते हैं, ठीक है? और गैसेस में और भी कम स्टीप, ठीक है? So because intermolecular forces over here are the weakest in the case of a gas, the desperation to come back to this point is the weakest for a gas, है ना? So in that sense, what is that desperation? That driving thing is your force, that's your attractive force. What makes the body move towards lowest potential energy is your force. So gas में that attractive force is the weakest, liquid में उससे weak, and solid may is the strongest. Therefore, solid may the slope is the steepest, liquid may the slope is less steep, and gas may the slope is even less steep, even more gradual, even less steep, whatever. Okay? So this is how your graphs look for a solid, liquid, and a gas. With this, can you now join the dots and say कि अच्छा, अगर solid का slope कम steep है, मतलब solid का mid point धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ेगा, सॉरी जिसका स्लोप ज्यादा स्टीप है उसका मिड पॉइंट धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ेगा, और जिसका स्लोप एकदम ग्रेजुअल है उसका मिड पॉइंट तेजी से आगे बढ़ेगा, है ना? सो विद दिस ग्राफ इट शुड बी एविडेंट कि gases will expand a lot faster than solids. So with this graph it should be evident कि gases will expand a lot faster than solids. So expansion rates, gases expand faster than liquids for the same rise in temperature, and liquids expand faster than solids. Any doubt here? I explicitly reason नहीं लिखा, but I hope you can join the dots. जिसका कर्व ज्यादा शार्प होगा उसका मिड पॉइंट धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ेगा, और जिसका कर्व और ग्रेजुअल है वहां पे मिड पॉइंट तेजी से आगे बढ़ेगा. तो intermolecular distance correspondingly तेजी से बढ़ेगा for a gas, then for a liquid, then for a solid. All clear? Okay. Okay. I hope everyone's done with that page. The next idea is thermal expansion. This is another important point. greater the forces of attraction, slower the curve. Okay, let me just see. Greater the force of attraction, slower the rate of expansion would be. Greater force of attraction में ये slope steep होता है. You need to keep coming back to the slope, because if the slope was, if the graph was symmetric, then there would have been no expansion. So everything comes down to the shape of the graph. Greater the force, this graph is going to be more steep after the minima. So ये धीरे धीरे midpoint बढ़ेगा as compared to इस case में तेजी से midpoint बढ़ेगा. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thermal expansion. अच्छा देख लो जल्दी. Okay. So if I take a material like this, थोड़ा छोटा बना लेता हूँ. How would this material look on expanding? On expanding thermally, like using on heating, how will this look on heating? Okay, so do you expect the rectangle? Acha, what on earth is this thing? So this is, okay, this is material. This is a rectangle with a circle cut out. This is a rectangle with a circle cut out. The question is, will the rectangle gets bigger or smaller? Or neither? And what about the circle? Does the circle get bigger or smaller, or neither? क्यों? अच्छा, one of you is saying neither for both. क्यों यार? Okay, let me check your answers. Ayush has answered correctly. Parth has answered correctly. Rugved has answered correctly. The circle is a hole. Okay, that's a hole. So it's a rectangle with a circular hole punched out of it. Gaurav has answered correctly. Samarth has answered correctly. Very nice. Okay. Smaller and neither. ये नहीं समझा. Okay, I'm getting all sorts of answers. I'm getting, my goodness, one of you saying कि rectangle बड़ा नहीं होगा, circle बड़ा होगा. Some are saying rectangle छोटा होगा, circle बड़ा होगा. This is the answer now. Okay? And some are saying rectangle बड़ा होगा, circle छोटा होगा. Some are saying rectangle बड़ा होगा, circle वैसा का वैसा रहेगा. What is the answers? First and foremost, this is the idea that thermal expansion is like a photographic enlargement. Okay, what does this mean? So, in fact, since I'm on the app, I have the benefit of using the app. Photographic enlargement. Thermal expansion is like a photographic enlargement of the material. Photographic enlargement means this. If I want to see how this is going to look, all I need to do is zoom in on this. Yeah, that's how it's going to look. So on expanding, it's going to be like a photographic enlargement. Every single dimension ka ratio is going to stay the same. The area of the rectangle to the area of the circle is going to be the same. Every single dimension is going to increase by the same percentage or by the same ratio. It's just like zooming in on the object. Yeah, so before you ask again, what does photographic enlargement mean? It's just a fancy word for zoom. Thermodynamic thermal expansion is like zooming in on the object. When you zoom in on the object, what do you expect to see? You will expect to see the rectangle get bigger. You'll expect to see the circle also get bigger. That's what's going to happen. That is what is going to happen. All dimensions, even of the holes and cavities, okay? All dimensions no problem, all dimensions even of the holes and cavities all dimensions increase. Okay, dimensions just means the length of the rectangle, breadth of the rectangle, the radius of the circle, all linear aspects, all increase by the same fraction. Okay, and this is of course for an isotropic material. Isotropic just means बाद में define भी करेंगे. Isotropic means a material जिसका हर डायरेक्शन में सेम प्रॉपर्टी है. So the normal materials that you know, they are isotropic. So I'll of course define what isotropic is. We'll talk about it later, but you need to understand all dimensions, even of the holes and cavities, increase by the same fraction. Okay? In fact, I'm really curious to know what is the rationale behind thinking. A lot of good students think this circle ka size should decrease. I don't know if you imagine this rectangle to be like a bacteria spreading outwards in all sides. Is that why you imagine ki circle ka size should decrease? Please understand what is the core reason behind. Yes, very nice, Ayush. The core reason behind this expansion, the core reason or the core explanation behind this expansion is molecules are moving further apart. तो जो तुम फंडा रेक्टेंगल के बाउंड्री के मॉलिक्यूल्स के लिए लगाओगे बोलने में कि इनको फर्दर अपार्ट मूव होना चाहिए, यानी कि रेक्टेंगल का साइज बढ़ना चाहिए, वही लॉजिक ये सर्कल का जो बाउंड रिम पे जो मॉलिक्यूल्स है ना, वही लॉजिक उन पे भी लगाओ. These molecules also have to move apart on an average on heating. And when can they move apart? They can move apart only when the size of the circle also increases. That's when you see them move apart. Making sense? ठीक है, maybe in fact write that reason as well. So why are we saying कि the circle का size will also increase, है ना? This is not a bacteria spreading out into, ठीक है, तुम बोल रहे हो कि एरिया बढ़ने के कारण, है ना, यहाँ से बढ़ना चाहिए और यहाँ पे कम होना चाहिए, बट इट्स नॉट लाइक अ बैक्टीरिया स्प्रेडिंग आउट इनटू द सराउंडिंग रीजन. This is a material जिसके molecules are moving further apart. If its molecules are moving further apart, the hole का size should also increase. ठीक है? So let me write that reason. The hole will not contract. The hole will not contract as all molecules have to separate further. All molecules have to separate further, even those on the boundary of the hole. Even those on the boundary of the hole. Got it? So it's a very simple story. It's always going to, in a very simple sense, it's just going to be like zooming in on the object. Yeah, it's going to be like a photographic enlargement. It's as if you're zooming in on the object. Every single dimension will increase in the same proportion. Okay? And now I've mentioned for an isotropic material, I'll come back to that later. फिलहाल just मान लो कि everything increases in the same proportion. Any doubts so far? Okay, nice. For a simple material, you cannot change its shape. कोई पूछ रहा है, can I change shape by heating? Yes, you cannot change the shape for a simple material. है ना? You take a piece of iron having some designs on it. When let's say iron में a triangle and a circle is cut out. If I expand this material, you're going to see the shape looking exactly the same. The triangle will get bigger, circle will get bigger, rectangle will get bigger, area will get bigger. Okay? So just to explain the last sentence again for someone, the hole will not contract. Why will the hole not contract? Because all molecules have to separate further. That was the underlying mechanism for thermal expansion. All molecules are on an average moving further apart. Even those on the boundary of the hole, मतलब ये होल के बाउंड्री पे भी मॉलिक्यूल्स थे ना, उनके बीच में भी सेपरेशन बढ़ना चाहिए. उनके बीच में सेपरेशन कैसे बढ़ेगा? Only when the circle size increases. So contrary to what some people said कि circle का size would decrease, you get कि if the circle size were to decrease, the molecules are actually coming closer to each other. They should all be moving apart. Therefore, the circle ka size should also increase. The rectangle ka size should also increase. All holes, all cavities, everything increases by the same fraction. ठीक है, मतलब रेक्टेंगल का लेंथ डबल हो गया तो रेक्टेंगल का ब्रेथ डबल होगा, ट्राइंगल का साइड लेंथ डबल होगा, सर्कल का डायमीटर डबल होगा, सब डबल होगा. ठीक है? यस आयुष, by a fixed ratio, all side lengths dimensions will be enlarged. Okay? All right. So that was a little bit of theory that we had to cover. Now, can I move to the next page? Those who want to say wait, jaldi wait, bondo. Otherwise, I'll move on. ठीक है, लिख लो जल्दी. ठीक है, हो गया। All right. So first we're going to talk about 1D thermal expansion. 1D, 1D मतलब one dimensional. Okay, so this applies to rods and cylinders, one dimensional bodies. 1D thermal expansion. Okay, 1D thermal expansion, which is also known as linear expansion. Okay. So now, what is the idea behind this? So when a 1D body is heated, कुछ नहीं है, simple सी बात है. When a one-dimensional body is heated and its length increases, the expansion is called as linear expansion. See, the expansion is called as linear expansion. The expansion is called as linear expansion. Okay. So the idea is कि let's say you have a body जिसका length इतना था at some initial temperature. Let's say its length was Li. Li for initial length. And let's say this was its length at temperature T naught. Yeah, at temperature Ti, initial temperature. Okay. And let's say its length slightly increases and becomes Lf, F for final length. Okay. And this is at some higher temperature Tf. ठीक है, T final. तो T initial पे छोटा लेंथ है, higher temperature पे ज्यादा लेंथ है. ठीक है. Then let's call this increase in length, let's call that increase in length as delta L. Okay, let's call the increase in length as delta L. So delta L is actually L final minus L initial. L final minus L initial. Okay, simple stuff. Now you'll find that delta L or change in length is equal to alpha. Okay, this is going to be a constant into L initial. Alpha is a constant dependent on the material. Alpha L initial delta T. Okay, let's just understand that for a minute. My increase in length is equal to, or my increase in length is proportional to my original length, times the change in temperature. Okay? The same thing can also be written as, अब delta L क्या है? L final minus L initial, है ना? तो ये L initial को दूसरे साइड पे लेके जाओ, तो उसको जब वहां लेके जाओगे तो you get a similar equation, but this time between L final and L initial. So this will tell you how your length changes with temperature. Okay? So this equation, the second boxed equation, is to give you your final length, the first boxed equation is to give you the change in length. Okay? And I'll define what alpha is. Okay? 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 I'll define what alpha is. But before defining alpha, I can write this in one more term. यहाँ पे L initial को नीचे लेके जाओ. So that also gives you fractional change. This also gives you fractional change. Alpha is a constant dependent on the material. So fractional change in length. वो कैसे मिलेगा? The fractional change in length is change upon original. The fractional change in length is change in length upon original length. ये कितना आता है? ये actually आता है proportional to change in temperature. So जिस fraction से body का size बढ़ रहा है ना, जिस ratio से length बढ़ रहा है, that ratio is found to be proportional to temperature. जिस रेशियो से बॉडी का लेंथ बढ़ेगा, that ratio is found to be proportional to temperature. That's something I want you to understand. I'm going to tell you what alpha is, but ये समझ में आया कि मान लो मैंने टेम्परेचर 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस से बढ़ाया, 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस से बढ़ाया, और इस बॉडी का जो लेंथ है वो 2% से बढ़ा, बॉडी का लेंथ 2% से बढ़ा. ठीक है? So based on that, if I increase my temperature by 4 डिग्री सेल्सियस, बॉडी का लेंथ कितना परसेंट से बढ़ेगा? अगर 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस के लिए लेंथ 2% से बढ़ा, तो 4 डिग्री सेल्सियस इंक्रीज इन टेम्परेचर के लिए लेंथ 4% से बढ़ेगा. That's the idea. Your increase, your fractional change in length is proportional to your change in temperature. The fractional change in length is proportional to your change in temperature. Okay, what is alpha? Maybe I'll just write that on the next page. So alpha, I'll go back to that page. एक बार alpha का नाम दे देता हूँ तुम्हें, है ना? So alpha is called as the coefficient, क्या 1 by t, क्या? अच्छा, नहीं, alpha is called as the coefficient of thermal expansion. If you remember, I think thermometry के वक्त I mentioned this word. हमने बोला कि मर्क्यूरी का कोशेंट ऑफ थर्मल एक्सपेंशन पानी से कम है, ऐसा कुछ बोला था. So alpha is the quotient of thermal expansion. Okay. What does alpha depend on? So alpha of course depends on the material. Thermal expansion बोल सकते हो, linear, actually linear expansion बोलेंगे. Sorry, yes, my bad. Linear. Alpha is the quotient of linear expansion. Okay. And this of course depends on the material, no doubt, depends on the material, and is more or less a constant. Depends on the material and it's more or less a constant. Okay. Units of alpha, if you look at the last equation, alpha का units तो क्या था? Actually delta L by L, ये तो length था, is alpha delta T. तो delta T केल्विन में है, यहाँ पे ये इसका कुछ units नहीं होगा, तो alpha का unit फिर 1 upon temperature change का units होगा, है ना? Agreed? तो alpha का units फिर क्या होगा? Alpha का units will be, alpha का units will be Kelvin inverse or degrees centigrade inverse. Alpha will be Kelvin inverse or degree centigrade inverse. And I want you to understand कि if they give you alpha in degree centigrade inverse or in Kelvin inverse, they are one and the same. Why? Because when we look at how temperature is coming in, is temperature coming in as its absolute value, or is temperature coming in as temperature change? When you see the formula for alpha, you'll realize the temperature is coming in as temperature change, and change in Celsius is change in Kelvin. So the units are Kelvin inverse or degree centigrade inverse, both are the same. Okay? Because the units are coming in because of temperature change. Okay? That's the idea. तो डेल्टा टी के कारण ये दोनों बराबर है. ठीक. Now I'll just, of course, I'll give you time to write both, see both. First I'm showing you this. इसमें जो भी लिखना था लिख लो, इसमें जो भी डाउट है पूछ लो. Okay. इसमें ठीक है. अब इसमें ये भी बोलना है कि नहीं, just a few more points I'll just mention over here कि this is, तो पहले तो first and foremost एक बार इधर अल्फा के यहाँ मेंशन करता हूँ कि अल्फा is more or less a constant. Alpha is more or less constant. Is more or less constant for temperature changes less than 100 degrees Celsius or so. Okay. This is just FYI कि it's fair to assume alpha का value मतलब perfect constant नहीं है, थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर नीचे होगा as temperature changes, but मतलब appreciable change in alpha नहीं दिखता है as long as your temperature change is not very large. If you keep your temperature change within 100, then from a practical point of view, alpha more or less constant ही दिखेगा. See? Theoretically, can you get a question on alpha as a function of temperature? Yes, you could, and that'll be a question on whether you test your integration skills, and we can of course do that towards the end of this chapter. वो अंत में देखेंगे कि अगर alpha as a function of temperature दिया तो क्या करना है. ठीक है. Hint is कि delta L by delta T dL by dt हो जाएगा. ठीक है. This involves the basic ideas of calculus, but of course in 99% of questions alpha will be a constant and all constants will be given to you. एक भी alpha का value याद करने का जरूरत नहीं है. Alpha is more or less a constant for delta T less than 100. ये बस practical point of view से बता रहा था कि why we apply this in a practical point of view as well, from a practical point of view as well, because more or less constant दिखता है for all materials, most materials, in small temperature changes. ठीक है. यहाँ पे एक एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट बोलना था. यहाँ पे भी this is technically these equations, these are valid as long as delta L is small. So these are valid when delta L is small compared to L. So these are valid when delta L is small in comparison to the length of the rod. Okay? And this is a fair assumption. This is typically a fair assumption because this is normally the case because alpha is of the order of 10 raised to minus 5 Kelvin inverse. Okay? So this is normally the case as alpha is of the order of 10 raised to minus 5 Kelvin inverse. So alpha is actually a small number. So if you're expecting कि heat करके length double वगैरह होगा, length double नहीं होगा for small rises in temperature, ठीक है? Because alpha, as you can see from this equation, is actually a very very small number. 10 power minus 5 के order का है. टुवर्ड्स दी एंड थोड़ा सा वेरिएशन दिखेंगे क्या करना है अगर लेंथ में सफिशिएंट चेंज आ रहा है, सिग्निफिकेंट चेंज आ रहा है. Okay, so what have I written? Yeah, this is so annoying. Kelvin inverse. Okay, so what I've written is valid when change in length is small in comparison to the length of the rod. So typically our changes in length should be like 1%, 2%, 3, 4, 5%. वो सब चलेगा. The change in length, that fractional change in length should be small. You're not going to solve questions where delta L is equal to L. Change in length double हो रहा है. This delta L has to be small in comparison to Li. ठीक है? Which is normally the case because alpha is very small. एक तो delta T भी normally 100 से ज्यादा नहीं होगा. Alpha 10 raised to minus 5 का order का है. So you can expect fractional change to be of the order of 10 power minus 5 into 10 raised to 2. मतलब around 10 raised to minus 3, around 0.1% से 1%, 2%, उतना typically दिखेगा. Or even lesser than that. Okay? If not, क्या करना है वो भी अंत में देखेंगे. Okay? So those are slight variations. They appear in the rarest of questions. They don't appear always. So I don't want to scare you from the beginning. But अगर delta L बड़ा है, अगर alpha temperature पे dependent है, तब क्या करना है? Integration करना होगा. पूरा एक बार ये chapter हो जाए फिर हम देखेंगे. ठीक है? और starting में ही डराना नहीं है. But I'm just letting you know कि in this delta L has to be small, which is normally true. From a real world point of view, it's normally true. It's small in comparison to Li. And the second thing is alpha has to be constant, which is again normally true when temperature changes are not very large. ठीक है? ठीक है, आगे we'll continue. Please attend tomorrow's doubt session. The kind of questions in the HCV are slightly different, calorimetry ka. So that plus what we have done in class will be a more exhaustive study of calorimetry. Make sure you attend tomorrow's class. Okay? So bye. Yeah, bye. Okay, and if you're, please don't look for the same notes in calorimetry. Utna track rakho. This is now a new chapter. It's going to be uploaded in the folder thermal expansion.